Hi, Ava. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I hope that you're seeing some sunshine from whatever corner of the world you're looking today. It's kind of a rainy day in Chicago, but hopefully a little sunshine.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm in Nashville right now, and it's actually really sunny, so it's nice here.
Well, I'm good. Send some of that sunshine our way if you can, okay? I know it doesn't usually go from east to west, but we'll send it backwards today here.
I'll try. I'm actually from Ohio, so we have a lot of gloomy days there, so it's nice to have some sunshine. So
Right. Well, that's good. Enjoy it today. Enjoy it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to bring our future audience in to tell them a little bit about you and who you are and your music. This is contemporary country singer and songwriter Ava Rowland. In addition to her EP that she has out right now, Polaroid Picture, she's a brand new song called "He's Like a Habit." And I just thank you for taking time out of what I'm sure is a busy schedule to chat with me.
Yeah, no, of course. Of course. I love doing interviews, so it's all fun. To at least I think they're fun, so.
I think they are too, but I'm on the other side of it, so I just don't know. I don't do so as many as you have to do. I'm sure. So
Yeah.
I always enjoy it, but I don't know how it feels on the other side of the camera sometimes.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah.
Um, I kind of want to start at the beginning, I guess, of when you started to do this thing called music and you started to enjoy the music. How did you start making music a part of your life, and when did you realize that you kind of wanted to make it your like a career for you?
Well, I was born around music. Like my mom and dad were both worship leaders. All my uncles and grandfathers, they all play guitar. So like everyone in my family sings. So it was kind of like in my blood, you could say. But the first time that I ever sang in front of an audience, I was 9 years old, and it was at my church. And right then I was like, you know what, I like this. And I think that when I, go through high school and finally graduate, I want to pursue this full time. So I've been doing this full time for, let's see, I graduated in 2017. So about 3 or 4 years, right? That I was never good at math. So is that right? 3 or 4 years?
What year did you say it was again? What year was it? What was the starting point for you? And it was after high school. You said
Yeah, cause during high school I did local talent shows and stuff like that.
sure.
But I actually started to pursue it full time like the summer of 2017, right after I graduated high school. So
Okay, so we're about 3+ years into this career.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
And add 30 or 40 to that, and we got a great career happening. So just
Hey,
keep it going, right?
yeah, that's the goal. So
I know you mentioned at the beginning that from Ohio, Cleveland, right? Kind of
mhm,
a Cleveland
yep,
family life,
yep.
and
Actually, I am from maybe it's 40-45 minutes from where Luke Perry grew up.
okay,
So yeah, he grew up in Fredericktown, Ohio. So
okay.
yeah,
So
so
it's one
it's
of the smaller areas outside of like west of or south of Cleveland.
yes, south. I believe.
Just kind of just down the road away. It doesn't matter what direction, right? 45
Right.
minutes is clear enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
um, so did you live in Cleveland all the way from when you were born up till now,
Well, I didn't live in Cleveland.
or
I
in the
grew
Cleveland
up.
area?
Yeah, I grew up in a little town called Wellington, and
Okay.
it's pretty little. So yeah, I have been raised there my whole life. So
And how was it that what was it that helped you to fall in love with country music itself? That, there's so many genres of music out there.
yeah.
And how did you gravitate towards country?
Well, actually, that's a pretty cool question because I wasn't necessarily raised on country, because I grew up with Disney Channel, like Hannah Montana, Demi
Sure.
Lovato, Selena Gomez, all of them. But when Carrie Underwood won American Idol, my mom bought her first CD, so she would play it around the house. So I think that kind of helped me. And then also my dad loves country, like he is in love with George Strait. So I think that also had an effect on me. And
Yeah.
just I think just that really helped me come to sing country. So
Yeah, it's hard to not hear Carrie Underwood's voice and fall in love with the genre, right? I mean,
right,
fall in love
yeah,
with that genre of music, you know.
exactly.
So, um, So you mentioned some of the people that you grew up, the Demi Lovato's of the world and Hannah Montana. Who were some of the other people that maybe like as you were, just you sang when you were 9 and you got the experience of having an audience in front of you, and at church and whatnot. Other artists, maybe in other genres of music that you look to inspiration from, or that you really
Yeah.
enjoy just listening to?
Yeah. Actually, my all-time favorite singer is Selena Quintanilla Perez.
Sure.
Jennifer Lopez actually played her in the
Right.
movie. So I think she's like my favorite singer. And then I like Elvis, The Doors, Lauren Daigle, Francesca Battistelli. Yeah, I feel like the list is just endless. Like, yeah, I feel like I like at least one artist from all different genres. So
that's really good because so many people miss out on the different genres of music out there. Just as music fans, and people say, "Oh, I love rock and roll," or "I love country," "I love hip hop," or and they miss all the other things around them, all the other great bits of music that are out there. So
for sure.
It's kind of nice to have that, and it helps you in your preparation for your career that you hear a little bit of everything. You don't necessarily have to have I almost hesitated when I introduced you this morning to call you contemporary country singer. I didn't want to put a label on it, because you may do things that weave into different genres throughout your career. So
and that's funny you brought that up because wait, I'm sorry, you kind of cut out. What did you say?
No, you're okay. You're okay. If you wanted to tell you what you were going to say, yes.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, that's funny you say that because I just had a conversation with somebody like maybe a week or two ago, and they heard the song "He's Like a Habit," and they were like that's a great song, but like it almost like don't just have it as a country song, like it could almost be a pop song as well. So like just keep an open mind with that kind of stuff. So
I completely agree with that. When I heard that song, I agree. I mean, listening to it, it's definitely got the pop sensibilities that and that's why sometimes it's so difficult to put any music into a specific genre because things cross over between genres, and it definitely has that crossover potential for sure.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So the current EP you have out, we'll talk about the single in a moment. We'll get to the single. I want to definitely talk about that a little bit more. But you have an EP out that's been out for a little bit now, Polaroid Picture. And I heard the story about how the song came together. I saw one of your other interviews. I tried to, in preparation to talk to you, I tried to watch some of the other interviews you've had with people and listen to some of the music and kind of heard the story about how Polaroid Picture, the song came together and then therefore became the title track on that EP. Could you maybe share that story with people who are going to hear this interview and watch this interview?
Yeah. So the song of Polaroid Picture came from really, it was kind of like crazy because my producer Britton Cameron was like, we need one more like fun upbeat song for the album or the EP, and I was like, okay, because I like writing sad songs just because I just feel like they're easier to write. I don't know, that's just what I think. And so I was sitting in my room and I got this little Polaroid camera for Christmas that year, and I just saw it and I was like, let's write a song about a camera, not really thinking like it'd be anything. And then that's really how the song came. So I went in and I kind of like played him like how I kind of wanted the chorus to sound. And then came the song Polaroid Picture. And let me tell you, that song, because every song when you write it can be a little different. Like some come really easy, some come like you really have to tackle that song. And that song that I wrote with my producer Britton Cameron, we wrestled that song to the ground. Like it took forever to write it, but it ended up really good. So
it was well worth the time spent. Well worth the time spent, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
If it takes a little extra time, look at the finished product is amazing. So that's so great.
Thank you.
Sure. Another song that you promoted as a single on the EP was Exit Sign, correct?
Yes.
Maybe you could talk a little bit about that song and what that's about.
Yeah, actually, Exit Sign was the most personal song that I've ever put out. About 2.5 years ago, I was in a really bad relationship, mentally, physically, spiritually. It was just all around really bad. And like being in the relationship, I knew that it wasn't right, but like, you know, like I was just so beaten down and just like so like used to it, I guess, that I thought, well, I can't live without him, you know, like how am I supposed to leave him? So with the help of my friends and family and of course God, I realized that I don't need him and I can leave. So like I called the exit sign because being in the relationship, I knew that like it's like I could see the exit sign, but like I couldn't get to it, you know?
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
mean, I think there's probably so many people out there that have to hear that message and know that, because a person can become trapped in a relationship and they don't see
Mhm.
that exit sign. They don't see the way out, and it could be just so destructive to their future and their life. And I think some people stay in relationships for many, many years, and maybe if not a lifetime, beyond what it
Yeah.
should have been, because they didn't know how to quite leave it, and they felt trapped. So I think it's empowerment that
Yeah.
you share that message with
And
people.
yeah, and like in my case, like words have such an impact on the mind. Like so many times he would say to me like if you leave me, like you're going to be nothing, you know. So I just feel like that like was in my mind, and like words from others, especially when like you think at the time you love them,
Right.
it can really just have an impact. So I think yeah, like you said, I feel like it happens more than we know. So
So hopefully, as people hear your story about that song, that you affect some lives in a very positive way to help them to see that there's options, that
mhm.
nothing has to stay the same.
Nope. Yeah.
So
hmm
it's very inspiring, I think, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You talked a little bit about Britton Cameron, and the producer of your EP you mentioned. He's had a ton of success in the music industry as a performing musician, not only as a
hmm
musician but as a songwriter and producer.
Yeah.
What was it like? What's it been like to have that opportunity to work with him, knowing all the kind of music he's kind of touched along the way?
Yeah. No. Of course, he's super talented, and he just gives like the best advice, and he's so fun to work with. Like, I feel like, cause like I'm like, I guess you could say like kind of like a spaz, and he's just like when he thinks of something he gets really excited and he'll be like, okay, so I got this idea, I got this, let's do it. So I just feel like we work really well together. And yeah, he's just it's been a blast working with him, and I've learned so much from him, and he'll like give me advice in and out of the studio. So it's really been a blessing.
That's great. So kind of in a sense, a musical mentor that kind of has been
Yeah.
done these things, and
hmm
kind of knows the different things, to some of the road signs to look at, to not let things go wrong, in a sense. So, like to avoid
yes.
mistakes that maybe he made when he was first starting out. And because
Uh-huh.
he's not just been on the side of the mixing board, he's been out there like you, writing and singing and performing.
Yeah,
So
for sure. And something that I really like about him is he will tell you the truth, like about anything. Like one time I came in with a song idea and he was like, "That sucks. Like we're not gonna write about that. Let's do this instead." So then, but yeah, no, it's nice to have somebody that like will speak the truth, even like if you're like, "Well, I like it, but it's fine." Okay.
it just takes that moment to kind of digest that and say, well, I just poured my heart and my soul into this.
Uh,
And you say, but by the same token, then when you have time to like think about it, you're like grateful, because it maybe could save a couple of missteps with a song that
exactly.
maybe there was he's just challenging you. He's challenging you because he knows you. He knows that you have something more in you. That's what it
Yeah.
sounds like to me,
hmm
at least from the outside looking
Yeah.
in. So,
Yeah.
so
So it's all fun.
that's great. That's great. Um, so your current single, He's Like a Habit, is that part of an upcoming album around the corner that fans could look forward to, or is it kind of a standalone single between projects, or how do you look at it?
I would say for now it's a standalone single.
Hmm.
Cause like for the next few months I'll be coming out with just singles. And then hopefully within the next year or two I'll have another album. Let's hope. Well, not in because I haven't had like a full album yet, but I hope to have a full album eventually. Um, so yeah, I would say just a single for now. So
I think, I don't get me wrong, I love the concept of an album and of an EP and having music together, because I think the songs kind of, you can thread a story through them.
Yeah,
At the same time, it is nice that, we're in a world where there's so much social media and immediate internet and everything, that it's nice to be
exactly.
able to throw something out there and say, hey, what do you think of this, guys? What do you think of this
Uh-huh.
one? And then,
And yeah, and I think that's why we decided to just do singles, because like, they're so big right now, and like you said, it's just to keep feeding like the fans what they want,
right.
so they don't have to wait like a year for a whole, like a bunch of songs. They can just get one like every couple months, and you know
And because of the internet, people have so many choices too of who they're going to listen to. It's like, you can
exactly.
have like ADD just kind of going through the internet and trying to find a song, and I like this song,
Mhm.
I like that band, and so you kind of almost have to be able to stay in front of your fans to keep reminding them, hey, I'm still doing music, I'm working on it
Yep.
out, but here's a song. Meanwhile, here's a cover song.
Yep.
Here's a, so it's good that we have that option these today.
For sure. Yeah.
Because some bands would take 10, 12 years between albums, and that's a long time in today's world with everything that's going on. To
Yeah.
you can't wait 10 years for an album. You got to be
No.
doing something
No.
in
You gotta
between.
keep. Yeah. Yeah. You gotta keep relevant. So.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so with country radio and bigger markets, a lot of times bigger markets are run by big conglomerates for radio. Like there's 20 stations belonging to one.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit difficult to get a song onto country radio. Do you find that you start kind of with the people that help you with that, start in smaller markets and work your way into those bigger markets with your song, or is that the plan?
Yeah, so far that's been the plan. Like we've been getting my song on like, like just not like the big country station yet, obviously, but just small little radio stations around the US to just get my name and brand out there, and then hopefully we'll get a good feedback with that, and I think hopefully after COVID and stuff, ends,
Yes. Yeah.
I think I'll be doing a radio tour. So then we'll be going to like, those little like little stations and stuff, and then hopefully, they'll like my songs and then put it on their station, and then it just goes from there.
Well, I love to read about different artists and about how they got started, and you read so many stories about how maybe it was one station in a small town in the middle of such and such a place that kind of got the ball rolling, and that artist can pin it back and say, you know what, because this person played it around the clock. It doesn't have to be a major market at the
Mhm.
beginning. They play it,
Mhm.
and it kind of spreads like wildfire to the country, so, and to the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's especially with social media,
Yes.
because if somebody from like, let's say, a town in Oklahoma, my song's on a radio station in McAlester, Oklahoma, so if somebody likes it on there, like they could put it on their like Instagram, and then their friends and stuff will like see it on their page, so yeah, it's just really a chain reaction.
It is, and that's what gives. I mean, in today's music world, with the combination of social media and digital radio and Spotify and iTunes and all the different,
Yes.
Pandora, all the different platforms, XM radio, to be able to get it out to so many people,
Mhm.
it's exciting because it's not just one push with one part of life. It's you can reach so many people with the touch
Yeah,
of a
for
button.
sure.
So that's an
Mhm.
exciting time to be making music, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
for sure, definitely.
So your music video for the song has just been added to CMT.com, right?
Yes, yes, I'm so excited. I'm so
That's
happy.
that's huge, right? It's
Yes, yes.
is when you make a video, is it hard to come up with a like a picture of the song? I mean, some songs write themselves, and then after the song is written, then you got to think, well, how would I portray that in a video? Is it
Yeah, well, so the director of that video, his name's Josh Sikkema, and he is like an amazing person and director, and so he actually came up with the idea for the video of that song. And my hometown, it's a really pretty hometown, right? And he said, so just to give your fans like where you're from and stuff, let's shoot the video in your hometown. So I was like, okay, okay. So yeah, that's where we shot it, in Wellington, Ohio, and like I got to get my friends in it. So all the three guys that you see and the two girls, so those are all my friends. So it was I'm sorry, really cool to have them in the video. So
That's so neat because it's I think even more so in country music sometimes people are able to bring the music back to their hometown because I think
yeah.
somehow the people that are working with them realize that it's about the roots of where they started, and the friends and family get to go along for the ride like that and be a
Mhm.
part of your career.
Yeah. Mhm. For sure, for sure. And of course my hometown's like, "Oh, that's so cool that like our town is on cmt.com." So,
Yeah, it's amazing.
yeah.
It's amazing. Uh,
Yeah, I like love all my music videos, but I think like it's hard to pick a favorite because it's like, you're like it's like when somebody's like, "Who's your favorite kid?" and you're like, "Well, I can't pick that." But I just really like how that video turned out. Like just like the color of it and just like just the whole vibe of it. I think it's like my favorite of mine. So,
Yeah, well, it's very well done. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting because you're multiple angles of the town and of you thinking and of you singing, and it's really well done.
uh-huh.
I really enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
that bridge doesn't look like it's a main thoroughfare, but you must have had to close it down for a little while to be able to stand on that bridge and sing, right, with the car, with the Impala.
Yes and no. We had some of my friends like stand on like each side and kind of be like, well, if this is like an emergency,
Uh-huh.
yes, you can come through. But something about the music video that's really cool is I don't know if you know the movie from the 1980s called License to Drive.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Corey Haim and Corey
Right.
Feldman.
Yep.
Actually, the scenes in the bedroom where like I'm on the phone or on the floor with the ice cream, those are actual scenes that we took and just recreated them
Oh.
from that movie.
Now I've got to
So
go
that
back and
was
compare.
that
I
was
didn't
cool.
think about that. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch that
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
again. Oh, that's such a neat
yeah.
idea.
Mhm.
Um, Let me ask you a question about that. Just kind of a fun question, I guess. When you're sitting there in the room and all the records are sprawled out on the floor, are those your artists, like your bands, or was it convenient at the time to put these certain records out there? I saw like Prince and Michael Jackson and
Yeah, no, actually those well the room that I'm in is actually my best friend's room.
okay,
Because she has like a really nice room, so I was like, I gotta use your room. And no, those were actually just like really her mom's records. So those were hers, and we really just threw them on the
right,
floor and just kind of let it fall how it fell. Like I did say like, okay, so I want Michael Jackson in there, and then I think in one part there was for King and Country. Like I kind of got like like a few, but in
uh,
general those were just like random. So
right. I was just curious, just kind of a fun question,
yeah, no,
as
yeah,
if that was like planned out. Like I'm a big Prince fan, or I'm a big Michael Jackson fan, or
no,
yeah.
not necessarily, but yeah, no, that's a good question.
Well, and they were classic albums, so you picked out some, as they made on the floor there like that, ended up
Yeah.
being pretty good classic albums that just that mental picture of music. They just, scream
Hmm.
like popular music. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So, um, so among the many venues or places that you performed at, you've sung at the Bluebird Cafe. What was that like? And by the way, I got my Bluebird. I don't know if you can see my Bluebird
Yes,
Cafe
I
shirt.
saw that. I was gonna say I like your shirt.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, that was a really a cool experience. Because you always hear these artists that have played there, like Faith Hill and Taylor Swift. And still artists come back there even after they make it and play music. So it's just like a really cool place, and it's got like this vibe that like no other place has. And
Right.
it's like the first time that I went there, I was not expecting it to look like it does. Like,
Yeah.
you always hear about it, but like, I don't know if I like really had like an image in my head like on what I thought it would look like, but it was a lot tinier than I thought it was gonna be. So
Yeah, I've never been inside, but when I was in Nashville, I just passed by because I was hoping at some point to, bring a piano in there and sing a song one day, something, I had
yeah, of
aspirations
course.
to do some songwriting, back in the day. And passing by, kind of trying to get my nerve up to actually make that phone call to sign up for open mic
Oh
night or
yeah.
whatever.
Oh yeah, the phone calls.
Yeah, right, and I just, I didn't expect it to be next to a cleaners and a barber shop or a beauty shop.
No,
I didn't
I
expect it to be
know.
like in a plaza like that. I pictured this freestanding venue
Yep.
with like a halo around it, and
Right? No, yeah, I completely agree. It's so small in there, but like it's so cute. But like you said, like it's not what you picture in your head at
Right,
all.
right.
So
Have you seen the movie Bluebird that they made about the documentary about the Bluebird Cafe?
I don't think so. I've heard of it, and I may have seen bits and pieces, but I've never seen the full thing.
I think it's on Netflix. Another artist I had talked to recently turned me on to it because we were talking about the Bluebird, and she had also played the Bluebird,
Oh,
and
cool.
so I watched it, and it is really, I mean, especially for someone who's played there. You've played there.
Yeah.
When you watch this, it's like about a 70-minute movie, and it's just a
Okay.
documentary. It shows all the people who have come and gone through there and how it got started. And it's it's recent, so it's not like it's very much in real time. Like
Yeah.
Taylor Swift comes back and sings a song there, and so many people that have current careers. Maren Morris was there singing a song.
Yeah,
So
yes, I saw that.
so it's really a cool documentary. And I think after you watch it, if you get a chance to watch it, you'll be like, wow, I played there with all those people played there before me, and I was there too
Uh-huh.
playing. That I think it'll be such an amazing feeling if you ever get a chance to see that
Yeah, no,
documentary.
I'll take a look at it.
And I hadn't seen it either, but I was turned on to it by another artist, so I was like, okay. And
Yeah.
I was so glad because it was really it was emotional too because you felt the passion of these songwriters. They would show some of the songwriters who wrote the big songs for some of the performers,
Uh-huh.
and you'd see
Yeah.
them sing their song, and like it gives it a whole different spin when the
Oh,
songwriter
for
sings
sure.
the hit that the artist made big.
Yeah, no, it's
So
so cool to actually hear like the songwriter sing there, because
yeah.
yeah, like you said, it's a really cool experience to get to go there and play there too. So
Now, when you played there, did you do a couple songs? Did you do one song on a songwriter's night, or was it like a set of songs? How did that come about?
I actually yes, I've done a couple open mic nights there, so I would sing like one or two songs, just depending on how many were there to play and like the time that they had. So yes, I played a couple of my songs. So
Fantastic, fantastic.
yeah.
Um, is there any specific artist out there that you would like just really like want to perform with, or either on a tour once we get past everything that
COVID.
we're in right now to get back on the road again? Someone that you just feel like matches your style and your sensibilities to go on the road with and tour. Someone that you look up to, or that you just feel like the music blends.
That's a good question. Well, okay, so I got two. Okay, so like one artist that I think would be really cool to go on tour with, and open for, I feel like would be maybe Dirks Bentley,
Okay.
or Kane Brown. I think those would be cool. And an artist that I would, or actually a group that I would love to do a duet with one day would be Casting Crowns.
Oh yeah, the Christian band
Yeah.
Casting Crowns. Yes, yes.
Yes. I just think that would be so fun to just have our voices like blend and like the different styles come together. I just think that'd be so cool.
And I would imagine growing up in a worship environment with your family, being worship leaders, your parents, that you probably heard a lot of their music over the years, and it's just kind of a
Oh,
long time inspiration
uh-huh.
of yours, right?
Yes, for sure. I like for like the longest time, like all I heard was Christian music
Uh-huh.
because that was what I was raised on. So yeah, I've been what's the word? I've been raised on Casting Crowns, I guess you could say.
Sure, sure. Not a bad thing at all. Not a bad thing.
No. No.
um, with the power of social media, sometimes it's interesting how you could sometimes be in touch with artists that you may have never dreamed of actually talking to. I just see it every day how people interact with people.
Exactly. Like I've got like it's so crazy. I like I just had so many that I'm like I never thought that I would ever be messaging you or that you would ever hit like on my post or comment on anything. So it was just it was cool. It's been cool.
Yeah, it's so neat how you can reach people that you may have never had the opportunity to reach because of social media.
Exactly, exactly.
They're not protected by an arsenal of label people or a publicist assistant to the press or whatever. It's like they're real people, and
Yeah.
through this
And
time.
like yeah, and like the cool thing is like you know it's them because they had that little check mark by their name. So you're
Right.
like, okay, this is real. Like, wow, like that's so crazy.
Yeah, and it's so inspiring when you can have that moment, even if it's a trade of a couple sentences with someone that you look up to in the music world,
Yeah.
and to be able to share a couple thoughts in a brief moment, it's just
Hmm.
unthinkable.
For
So,
sure. Yeah.
um, how about so you like kind of performing with Casting Crowns? Well, you said actually kind of collaborate on actually doing some writing at some point, right? I mean, if that opportunity could ever come about
Yeah.
to write with
Yeah.
someone like that, yeah. Anybody else like that you could see like that, like we write similar lyrics or we have the same ideas that I would love to sit down and write a song with?
Well, obviously I would love to write a song with Carrie. Um,
Yes, right. Dream come true, right?
right, yeah. And maybe write a song with maybe the band Perry.
Yeah, I love them. I love them.
Yes. I just love like I love okay. I love true crime and like that's like like Better Dig 2, like that's like all their songs, right? Like they're like really
Right.
dark kind
Yeah,
of
they are
songs.
for sure.
So I think I just like their songwriting vibe. So I think to write a song with them it'd be cool.
And that's a perfect example. That kind of fits what we were talking about earlier. I don't think of them as really heavy duty country or heavy duty rock. They're kind of right in the middle of both.
Yeah.
They can kind of go
Uh-huh.
either way with the instrumentation and the lyrics and their presentation. They're kind of right in the middle of both worlds, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, they for sure are. So that's the nice thing. Like just about being in country, like it can like you said go country or rock or pop. It just depends on what takes off, you know?
Right, right. No, it's true. You just never know. Um, so, do you have plans right now? So you've got the song that you're promoting, you've got this big single. Um, are there plans? I mean, probably always writing in the back of your head or sitting down with written and, coming up with lyrics. What do you think, when do you think people will see more, things coming together? You said maybe next couple years, I think you said it earlier, right? Maybe next year or two or something that's more of an EP or a full length within the next
Yeah.
couple years.
Yeah, I would say the next few years. But I actually around Thanksgiving will be having another single come out.
Oh, good.
So, yeah. So just keep an eye out for that. I actually didn't write this next one. A guy named Stan Ward out in Oklahoma wrote it about his mom, and it's called Amazing Grace, my mom's favorite song. And she passed away, and she loved that song. So then he reached out to me, and because we have mutual friends, and he was like, I want a girl to sing the song. Would you please sing it? Like I'll give you the rights to it. Like it's I just want to get it out there. I was like, sure, why not? So yeah, this is the next song that I'll be releasing, and tomorrow I'll be doing a music video for it. So
Oh,
I'm
great,
excited.
great. When
Yeah.
you make that music video, like, okay, so you got one coming up. I meant to ask you this before. I think sometimes people don't realize all that goes into making a music video. The time.
No.
Could
Mhm.
you kind of, it's just a quick, like, like it's not just like, oh, we have a couple hours and we make this, we stand here, we stand there, and we're done. Like it's over, and then the editing and everything that goes into behind the scenes.
Oh, for sure. And it's like you like do like the same shot like 10 different times, and like you got to hear the song all day, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, if I hear this song, oh my
Right.
god, I'm gonna go crazy. So but yeah, no, it takes a lot to do a music video. It's like an all day process, and by the end of the day you're like, I just want to sleep for the next like week because I'm
Right.
so tired.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, it's not as glamorous as it appears to be. So that when you see the finished product, it's all worth it when you see the finished product. But okay, now stand this way, now stand that way, now stand over
Uh-huh.
here, now do that, and let's play the same lyric because they have to decide, right? I mean, you have to like kind of be able to be singing that song everywhere so that they can take
Yeah,
you singing it here, have you singing it there.
exactly.
So
Exactly. And like you got to take in consideration the weather too, because it can either
yeah,
be really cold or like for example with the song He's Like a Habit, it was extremely hot because it was like early July when we shot it, and it was like maybe 89 90 degrees, and it was so hot. But like you said, after you see it, it's all worth it. So
right. That's the payoff. The payoff is the finished product for sure.
uh-huh.
Um, so what's the best way for people to find out about you from a distance? I mean, there's so much social media. What social media do you find is like the one that you're most enamored with, or spend the most time with, where you're posting and doing things?
I try to make them all equal. But I would say Instagram would be the one that I go on most, and I post most, and I connect with my fans most on there. But I do also have a Facebook that I use a lot, and then a Twitter, and then I just started TikTok.
Okay.
So I got some videos on there as well, and I do have a YouTube channel. So
So
yeah,
lots of ways to find you. No, if someone can't find
yes,
you, there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for not finding you.
exactly. And I also have a website. So yeah, there's no excuse.
What's is the website? Your name is it avarowland.com? Is that how it's
Yep.
set up? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
And I think I saw this. You have some merch on there to sell,
Yep. And
right?
I actually will be having some new merch that I will be posting a picture in soon. So I'll be getting some new stuff. So keep an
Fantastic.
eye out for that.
Yes, yes. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell people who maybe don't know a lot about your music, to get them excited about, like, going to these social media platforms to find it? Something that maybe could just give them a, you know, indicator of who you are and why they should listen to you.
That's a good question. I guess just I try to like speak the truth in my music, and I try to like be real. And I guess at the end of the day, whether you hear my songs or you watch a video or an interview, I guess I just hope to represent Jesus, I guess, in a way. So I just hope you feel the Lord in my music, I guess. Even though it's not a Christian genre, I just want to reach the unreached. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
No,
I
it
think
does,
it
and I think
answers
that's
your question.
no, I think it does, and I think that's neat because, like, again, I'm an amateur songwriter. I just all my life I've been just kind of writing just for fun, and always had hoped to kind of had that, to do something with it. But I got busy teaching music and playing music and different things. Just life kind of happened. Working in the industry, worked with record labels for a little bit, and so it never happened that way. But with the songwriting thing, I always thought about, if I were to write songs, I didn't know if I wanted to be a Christian singer, only for this reason. Only because I thought I need to reach the mainstream with my message. You know what I mean? Like,
That's what I'm saying.
right? So the people who
Yes.
are listening to Christian music radio, they're already halfway there. Their mind's in the right place. They're either someone that
Mhm.
really has a great deep faith center, or they're someone who's longing for that and they're missing it in their life. So they're going to hear encouraging words, right?
Yes.
But if I could say things in the pop world, or in just everyday society in the mainstream, that doesn't beat anyone over the head with any strong message, because some people aren't ready for a strong message, they're not
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
But just that they could just behind, as they think about my lyrics, and think, well, this guy's got a deeper message than just the
Mhm.
everyday pop bubblegum song. There's something that he's trying to get to without saying it, like hit you on the head with it, because I think
Yeah.
sometimes it's gradual doses of that sometimes
Yeah. For
people need.
sure. For sure. Yeah. And when I got done with high school, that was like a big question of mine. I was like, do I want to be in the country or the Christian? And then I thought, well, like you just said, if I go in the country, I'll be reaching the unreached. So that's why I went with country. But maybe like when I get a little older, I'll come out with like a Christian album or something like that.
Sure, sure. And then you've kind of reached some of those people, and you're bringing them with you into that genre.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's a win-win situation all the way around. And
Hmm. Yeah. For
but
sure.
I think that's so neat that that's what your message is that that's what you'd like people to think about your music, is that it's life worship of Jesus. That
Yeah,
it's
because like in the Bible, Jesus, he you know went to the prostitutes, went to the thieves and stuff like that. So we
Yep,
gotta, he just didn't stay in the church. He went out
that's
to
right.
the world. So
That's
I'm
right.
like, why not?
Absolutely, I love it. I love it. Um, Ava, I thank you so much for your time today and for talking to us a little bit about your, this exciting single and the video and all that stuff to come in the future. And I certainly thank you for taking the time to chat for a little bit today.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
So we'll be watching, and we'll let people know Twitter, Facebook, all the Instagram you said was an important one, and your
Yes.
website where the new merch is coming soon.
Yep.
So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. God bless.